Scratch Programming. Introduction to the New You. I'm going to briefly cover creating a Scratch account using AI to generate sprites of a new you. Then there's a Paint.net program which I want to introduce you to, in which you can modify your sprites quickly and easily. You'll upload the new sprite that you have created and modified using Paint to Scratch, and then you'll create a little introductory game where you ask 3 questions about you and they show the score. Now, majority of these things are just basic operations, so we'll look at those. Each one I'll separate into individual videos in this, and you'll be able to pick and choose the parts you need for this assignment. We're going to use Scratch to create this introduction game. You're going to use Leonardo.ai to generate a sprite of you. Let's take a look at those. Navigate to scratch.mit.edu. If you don't have an account, you'll need to join Scratch. Make sure you use an authentic email because you'll need to verify yourself in that email. I already have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in. Once you're signed in, look for the folder in the upper right that says My Stuff and click on that. When you're there, click on New Project. Now, the first thing you're going to do is familiarize yourself. Over here, you've got your coding. Each one of these are different types of blocks. This is your workspace, and this is your sprite. Now, the code is generally attached to a particular sprite, and we're going to use a sprite of you. So the first thing we're going to do is get rid of that cat and say yes. And then we're going to want to choose a sprite, which would upload a sprite, but we don't have one yet. So we need to go to AI and generate a new you. Navigate to Leonardo.ai and get started. And when you load up Leonardo, you're going to go to image creation. I like to set mine to graphic design vector. You can adjust these if you'd like. Mine, I did something similar to this and generated in order to get various images. Now, of these, I could probably use this one and maybe this one. Because I wear glasses, but it doesn't make sense for me to have someone with cropped pants and short pants. So what I'm going to do is download each one of the images that I want to use. And I chose to have Leonardo do 2 images. And I told it flat shoes or shoes of some sort, walking and standing with a plain background, because otherwise it just does headshots most of the time and we need a full body sprite. So you might want to specify something about shoes standing and the plain background so that we can work with it better. Once you have something on the plain background and downloaded, we'll be ready for the next step. Another tip about this is you can only generate so many images for free. You can see I'm down to 6 tokens and it takes 24 for me to generate. You can generate one at a time. If you run out of images, there is another option, but usually that option provides a whole bunch of things in the background, which takes a lot of work. So I recommend carefully generating images, and you can generate 4 instead of 2 and use the same amount of tokens. You just need to make sure that they do them individually. So best of luck as you work with Leonardo AI and get your Scratch set up. Then we'll look at how to get that image in there, but first we have to modify our image. So we'll go to Paint.net next. I'm going to use a product called Paint.net to modify your sprites. This is like an Adobe Light. It's for Windows, so you'll have to use a virtualization or VM of Windows if you have a Mac to run paint.net. Once we've modified our sprites that we got from AI, then we'll be able to upload them to Scratch. You're going to navigate to get paint.net and click on download. Now under download, you can see it's for Windows. You can select the paid version if you would like. I select the free version and I just simply click on this button. Now I avoid clicking on the ads. You can either click the X or I choose to click out in the open space. Once you're here, watch out for ads. Now this is Guardio there, so don't click that. Click here, paint.net 5.12. Once again, click in the open space. It'll download to your machine. Now mine says couldn't download virus detected because I've downloaded it too many times today to show you. But what you're going to do is you go to your downloads folder and you will see it here and you will double click it and go through the installation process. It's very straightforward. Select everything that's a default and you should be good to go. I'm now going to go and open paint.net. You'll have to pause and install it here. These are my AI generated images that we're going to work with. You'll have your own in your download folder. So one of the cautions that your software, your machines, your OSs have put in place is if the exact same file with the exact same size with the exact same hash is downloaded multiple times in the same day, it's going to trigger a virus. Like it won't let it download for security purposes. Of course, that's a great thing unless you make a mistake and need to re-download it. So I could wait for another day or something, but I've already got the software installed. So once you have it installed, I'm going to go to File and Open, and I'll open one of these like this one. And if it's not there, I'm just going to go to Download. You can see I've had to work around some problems that I've had. Now I've got one of them here, and I've already gotten the outline of this one done. This one as well, you can see the difference. And I'll grab another one from Leonardo that has the outline still on it and show you how to work with that. So I have re-downloaded them, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of these by clicking on this rectangular select tool and just grabbing the one I want. I'm going to do an edit copy. You can see I can hold a control plus the C key there. And now I'm going to do a file new. I'm going to leave all the defaults and click OK. And you can see that it's the exact same size. So I'll do a edit and a paste or a control V. Now I want to get rid of all the outside so that I have a standalone sprite. You can see I'm going to have some problems there. So I click here and that one looks clean. Nope, it's going to grab the hands. This one's going to be clean. I'm going to get away with that. Now my problem is going to be my hair and my hand because I've got a low contrast here. So you either pick something with a plain white background or a high contrast, or you zoom in. I'm holding the control key here and I'm scrolling with my mouse. But you can also use the zoom tool here. Now I grab the eraser and I can adjust the size. See that it's 75%. I want to change that to 100 so that I make sure I've gotten rid of all of the places where it could sense the other color. And I don't need to do everything, I just need to do enough so that my color selector doesn't pick it. I'll scroll into something small and get rid of this to make it neat. Now when I zoom out and use my magic wand, I can get rid of everything. You'll see I have a little line here. I scrolled in again. I just erase that, clean it up real quick so I don't have any weird looking things on my sprite. That's it. Now I've got that area. I have to do that in other trouble areas, probably here and here. I can find my trouble areas by using the magic wand, and I can see I have to go around all the hair. So I'll pause the video and take care of that and show you what that looks like with the eraser tool before I do the selection. If you need to, you hit the escape key to make it go off of the selection. So here I hit the escape key and it goes back, and then I can switch tools to the eraser. Once I have these little bits erased around here so that it won't pick up, did around the hands, everywhere that had that low contrast. We'll see what happens with the feet there. But yep, it didn't pick up the feet, so I'm good. I use the magic wand, then I hit delete, and I should have pretty close. So I'm going to go in and get rid of these other little bits, and then we'll be ready to save. Looks good right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the magic wand and take one last little peek here, and I can see that I have just up here some places where I did the eraser. I'm going to just hit the escape key and take my eraser, and I'm going to make it rather large and just erase the big pieces here and take one more look at it. That's fine. So I'm good. I'm going to save that and I'm going to bring it in as a sprite. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have two of these that I'm going to bring in at the same time. So I'll show you how to do that real quick. I'm going to go to image and I'm going to go to canvas size. And on the canvas size, I'm going to move this to this location. That's the current image. And I'm going to change the width to about twice as much. So I'm going to change it to about 1,000. And you'll see that it's going to do this where I've given myself some room. Now I'm going to grab another one of these and I'm going to do a Control A on this and a Control C. Go over here and I do a Control V. It's going to ask me to expand. I'm going to say nope, keep it the same size. And then I'm going to drag it. You see how I have a four-sided arrow there? I'm going to drag it over and I'm going to hold the Shift key down and move it up. So Shift key can modify when I'm grabbing a corner. Hold the Shift, modify. Now I have two of them on one. I'm going to do a third and then I will have three total. So for that I need to go through the image and the canvas size again, change it to 1500 on the width. Once again check here and click OK. Make sure it's transparent. Now I can put my third sprite and I'll do that momentarily. Just another quick tips, and that is I use the little selection tool here. If I have something really quick, hold down my mouse, hit the delete key. Another little tip is when you're getting rid of things, when you check your last ones, if you have little things like this, I use that tool as well, or the eraser tool. So you can just hit the escape key there, hit the eraser tool, make this very large and get all of these off in no time. So once again, I can check my last little bit for anything and hit the escape. So there I have a really quick cleanup. Just make sure you have the escape key on. So once you have that down, you have your third one. You can copy paste that into that last spot. So I'm back in my relation here. I do a Control V. Control A on this one. Control A, Control C. Go back here and Control V. So sorry about that. I'll keep the canvas size. And you can see it overwrote that first one. So I grabbed it with a four-sided. And then I hold the Shift key once again and make it the size I want. Now, if I don't hold the Shift key, it modifies a whole bunch of things, but that's up to you what you do. So I'm holding the Shift to keep my ratios. Then I save the file, and I will import it. So go ahead and save that, and let's head back to Scratch. I clicked save, and then I just let it go ahead and keep the defaults. You can change them or play with them if you'd like. Once I have OK, I'm ready to go. Back in Scratch, in my folder and my new folder, so I've created that new one. We'll just go back and do all those steps again. This was the old one. I did a new project, and I'm getting rid of my cat, and then I'm going to choose a sprite and upload a sprite. I'm going to pick from my folder where I just saved everything and import this sprite. Now I have 3 sprites side by side. These will be individual, except I don't want them to be, so I go to costumes, and here I can convert them to vector, or I can make some changes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some modifications. Make it easy, I go over and I right click and I duplicate this 3 times, and then I take my first sprite sheet and I use this selection tool and I get rid of 2 of them. Then I go to the second sprite and I get I do the selection tool again, but I get rid of different. Oops, there we go. And I'll get rid of this one, and then I go to the third one and I'm going to get rid of my last one. And so the next thing that I'm going to want to do is I can move these around and make sure that they're all standing in the same place. I'm going to center them up. Just have to select them and center them. Once I have the 3 of them all centered up, then I'm going to name my sprite and to give it my name. I'll be Dr. Baki. My sprite, now I need to do my coding, which is something else. So let's go ahead and look at that in another video. I am naming my project Introduce Me and my costume Dr. Baki. This is going to be Dr. Baki 2, and this is going to be Dr. Baki 3. You'll name yours your own name. And once again, here's my project. So now we'll take a look at that. If I go back to click Save Now and saving my project, then I'm going to be able to flip into my folder here with my projects, and I can see Introduce Me is here. That's where we'll start on the next one. Let's finish up by showing the score. Let's do 5 points for a correct answer and a wrong answer, -1. We're back at our game and we can see that it's working. I've pushed the B, says hello, and we go through what's your name. My favorite snack is ice cream. Says your favorite snack. You would, of course, have 3 different questions. Each time you ask a question, you're going to have an answer. So instead of what is your name, you'll be asking some cryptography question like what is C in hexadecimal, and you make sure if it's capital or lower, and then if their answer is the correct hex, then you maybe instead of doing next costume, or might want to do next costume, you might want to do something else like this. Let's take the recording out and we'll stop all sounds. Now let's make a variable. I am on the variables, the orange, and I'm going to make a variable called score. Click on make a variable, let's call it score. Leave it for all sprites, and now we have score. Now if this answer is correct, let's set our variable to 5. Now we have a problem because what if it's not correct? How do we check that? What we're going to do is we're going to grab this and put it down, and then we're going to go to the controls and we're going to look for an if else. This will give us the ability to say if it's correct or if it's wrong. So I'm going to take this all apart and put it up here. All of it in the if. You can grab the whole thing like this and pop it into the if. Now I'll take this one and just throw it away. And now I have if the answer is correct, then set that variable to 5. But if it's not, what I can do here is I can grab this just real quick. I'm going to grab the part. And I'm going to duplicate that part. And then I'll put it all back in. Just a minute while I put it all back together. Make sure I get in the right one. Okay, so the if is back together. Now I want to set my variable to -1. Now I'm going to duplicate this, hook it on, and I can ask a second question. What color are my shoes? If the answer is blue, then I can set my variable to 10. If it's not, then I'm going to set my variable, ooh, that's a problem. We're going to have to do some math. In fact, if we set it to 10, how do we know they got the first one right? We probably better do some math in both of these. Also noticed I have my variable. What variable is that? We're going to pick score. Go back up and pick score. And now we can work with it. Here we're going to have a score. And here we're going to have a score. So I fixed all of those. Let's see, score is 5. Score is -1. Let's see if we can do set score and put something like this. That little circle. Ah, we can. Now we just have to go back and get that variable. And whatever score is, we are going to do score plus 5 if it's correct. And I'm going to be lazy again, duplicate that, pop this into here and put that back. And this would be, you're right, it would be score -1. Now, this will get us through the second one if our answer is correct. The other thing we want to do is here, if it's off, you want to make sure you turn it on. You can see the score turning on and off. And let's go ahead and try our game. I'm going to push the B to get it started. Hello. Now it's got to ask, what is your name? And wait. And I'm not sure what's going on there, so let me stop it and get it started and make sure everything's fresh. There we go. Got that working. What's your name? Sometimes you just have to stop the game and start it again. It's like loading it up again. So what color are my shoes? If I get that right, you can watch the score up here. The score already switched to 5 when it didn't say if the answer was correct. Oh, it did because my name was Christine. Now I'm on the second question already. Oh, wow, this is fast. And I put blue. Answer. Oh, I've got an error in my code. It should have said answer equals blue. Then set the score to this. I'll have to fix it. Well, I made an adjustment, but you can see there's another problem. The score started out right away with 4. I'm going to have to stop that too, and we're going to have to look at this. Now, how do I set? Maybe I should set the score to 0 right from the beginning. Let's initialize this variable, score, and set it to 0. Now let's watch and see what happens. I push the stop button, and now I'm going to push the B. Hello. Oh, my score is now 0, and my name is, let's say my name is Sam. Now I'm at a -1. What color are my shoes? Red. Now I'm at a -2. So you can see I've got the game started. It's up to you to finish it, but that's how you can get that score showing and get all of the things that you need. Good luck. Enjoy the challenge.